Gonna be a really nice feeling session. I think when you are done, you guys are gonna feel great, as well as people who are watching this later. Nothing super specific or intense today, but we hope to move the whole body in today's session. We're gonna start off with 2 rounds of 3 movements. Here we go. We're gonna start off with a kickstand squat. So I want you to stagger your feet like me. You're gonna get onto the back ball of the foot, okay? And then first rep should be a little bit of a probe. Just gently squat down, keeping your forward foot flat, as low as you feel comfortable. We're gonna do a few of these up and down. I wanna think about pushing up equally with both feet. Even though I have most of the pressure on my forefoot, I still wanna engage my back leg a little bit. We're just thinking here about giving some intensity to the back knee, a little more stimulus than a regular squat where our heel is flat. Nice. Change your side, other foot back. Be a little bit delicate if you need to when you first descend. And you guys don't need to go nearly as low as me, right? I'm going right to the ground, but if you want to go halfway, if that's more appropriate for you, all good. But again, just trying to load that side, that back knee a little bit by having the heel up off the floor. One more. Good. We're gonna go right into a movement we've done a few times now in these online human classes, a good morning. We're gonna do 10 reps in and out. We're gonna hold the last rep and then do some shoulder work. So make sure that you don't stop when you're done your last rep. Slight bend to the knees, hinge backwards to the hips, find a nice stretch through your glutes, hamstrings, calves. Stand tall and right back into these. Let's pick up the pace now that we know what we're doing. Looking to get about 10 of these and a really strong, purposeful hinge backwards, reaching hips backwards straight. If you want more stretch, keep your knees straighter. Looking for about 2 more pretty quick. We're gonna hold the last rep in the engaged position. So give me a nice hold here now. I want you to now move your arms overhead, lock out the elbows, thumbs up to the ceiling. Reach your hands out to the sides, palms down to the floor now. Now you're gonna bring your arms backwards. Behind you, we'll go palms up to the ceiling. You're gonna start to bend the elbows and bring your palms to your collarbone. And now we're gonna do about 9 more of those, but faster now that you know the positions. Up, out, back, in, and repeat. And I don't want you going too much faster than me, but this is the movement. Bent over swimmer circle, extending arms straight overhead, reaching far out, reaching back, collapsing elbows, and then again. And try and be strong in your position. Strong through the hips, put tension in the legs so the low back doesn't do all the work. And now we'll do a little quick break, not too long. Obviously you should be working here a little bit, but you should be feeling hamstrings mostly. Rehinge, other way. You're gonna extend the elbows, turn hands out, arms forwards, and repeat. Elbows, extend the arms, reach outwards, forwards, and repeat. Looking for about 8 to 10 arbitrary reps here. Think about a tall chest, put tension through your hips, sit them back, keep the tension away from the low back. 2 more. Last one. Nice, awesome. If that's a little bit hard for you, you can always do less repetitions. We're gonna go right back into our kickstand squats. Pick a foot that you wanna go backwards, hands out for balance as you need to. And think about being gentle in those last degrees of range. So you're not crashing to the floor, you're not crashing to your full knee compression. It's whatever is accessible and safe for you. A good way to think about it is do a range of motion that you could do 15 reps at. We're only doing about 10, but if you can do more reps at a given range of motion, that means it's pretty safe. We don't want to do something that's very difficult that we could only do a few times. One more. Good, other side. Take a little break if you need to. I'm going right into my other side. About 5, 6 more. With your forward leg, really try and push that knee forward as best you can. We'll say one last one. Nice. Okay, just a quick little break. We're gonna go back into our good mornings. This one you should feel 0% low back. It's all through your hips. You can limit the range of motion if you want. Hands wherever you want. I usually just like them in front of my chest. And as I'm coming forwards, I'm really making sure that I'm squeezing my glutes, pressing my hips forwards so that the action of the movement has intention. It's not just a slingshot, it's not elastic. I'm reaching and squeezing forwards. This is our second and last time doing these. We're gonna do about 3 more, and then we're gonna add in those bent over swimmer circles. Take a little break if you need to, whether because of your shoulders or your low back or other. Hold your position. And now let's get about 10 quick reps. I'm already on number 2. Remember, hands out forwards, sides, back, then the elbows collapse. About 4 more, 5 more for me. Feels great. Shoulders are starting to move quite a bit. Shoulder blades are moving quite a bit. Getting blood flow, breathing. 3, 2, 1. Quick little break. Other direction. 10 reps, nice and quick. Bend the elbows, excuse me, bend the knees a little bit more if you need to, right? If I bend my knees more, that might take some pressure out of the low back if you need to. Otherwise, keep them straight. Challenge your hamstring mobility. Let's do 3 more. Last one. Awesome, nice. Great little shoulder exercise. Get everything moving, feeling really, really good. Take a seat on the floor. So what we're gonna do next is a little hip mobility. There's gonna be a little bit of spine involved too, but try and keep the movement in your hips as much as you can. This doesn't need to be max intensity, it can be gentle. Once you sit up on your bum, hands somewhere you want, it doesn't really matter, and go a little bit wider with your legs than you think. You're definitely not gonna wanna be narrow. Then what we're gonna do on one leg, we're just gonna stick on one leg for now. I'll be doing my right. We're gonna weave the knee inwards and down towards the floor and outwards and down towards the floor. Move really slowly as we begin. So watching me, I'm gonna let that knee come in. At some point, I'm gonna allow my other leg to kind of get out of the way, which will allow me a little bit more movement. If I can't touch the floor, don't worry about it. Then I'm gonna go out, 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 and at some point move the other leg with it to get a little bit more movement, okay? And now that you know what we're doing, I want you to give me about 10 more and try and keep the movement in the hip working as much as you can. So watch these strict reps. I'm only moving through my right hip, which means I can't get as much outwards. But if I want to, if I move both legs, it just makes it a little bit easier, okay? It just gives me a little bit of help. So you can kind of pick how strict or not you want to be with your hips. Let's get about 3 more. I'm yapping, so I don't really know where I'm at, but generally speaking, more movement is almost always a good thing. So if we're doing a couple extra reps, I don't think your hips will mind, especially for 99% of us who sit all day long. Good. Give the wrist a little shake if you need to. Resituate. We'll do our other side. One side will feel much better than the other. My left hip feels way better going outwards, got more external rotation, but inwards, internal rotation, it's definitely more sensitive and limited. So I'm gonna be a little bit more gentle as I do that side, but I'm gonna try and express more of this because I can. Again, turn the other leg out for a little bit of assistance, ease if you wish. We're looking for about 5 more, 5, 6 more. We're doing just 1 round of these, but a really nice hip drill you can do at home, watching TV, watching me. Super easy, and your hips will feel nice when you're done. Let's get a couple deep breaths, and let's do 1 more in and out. Back in, and out. Awesome. Let's do a little shaky shake. Okay, I'm gonna be half or full kneeling. If this is hard on knees, ankles, whatever, you guys can stand, you guys can half kneel, excuse me. It doesn't really matter to me. Once you put your arms out in front of you, okay, like you're holding like a pretty wide like bus wheel, okay? Not a little Hyundai Elantra, which is what I have. Not a little Hyundai Elantra wheel, kind of like a big bus wheel. We're gonna work on 1 arm at a time, shoulder blade mobility, not shoulder mobility. Keep your other arm really still. I don't wanna see it up, moving down, forwards, back. It's gonna try and be rooted where it is. With your target hand, I want you to glide your shoulder blade forward and see that hand move forward about 2 or 3 inches without your non-working arm following. You're gonna pull and hike that shoulder blade up to your ceiling or to your ear. You're gonna start to retract that shoulder blade like you're squeezing it to your mid-back. Then you're gonna start to press that shoulder blade down. Try and lengthen the distance between your ear and your shoulder. We're gonna do 1 more. Start to glide it forwards, forwards, forwards. The other arm is doing nothing. I'm gonna elevate, lift my shoulder blade up, squeeze it towards my ear, retract, pull it backwards, and then press it down. Nice, other side. So this is my stationary arm now. I'm gonna glide the other arm forwards. What does that feel like for you? I'm gonna lift it up, elevate. I'm gonna retract, and then I'm gonna push it down. And note how my arm is like level. If there's a dinner plate with my favorite steak on there, that plate is not falling to the floor because I'm turning my arm or losing my angle. The arm is level the whole time with the floor because my shoulder blade is doing the work, not my shoulder. Nice. Give that a little bit of a break. Now with your hands on your legs, we're gonna do a couple more reps. We're gonna go both directions. You should feel here that your hands glide up and down your leg just by virtue of your shoulder blades doing the movement. So let's breathe. Let's pull our shoulder blades up. You're gonna feel your hands lighten on your legs, but it's not because they're moving, it's because your shoulder blades are moving. You're gonna pull those shoulder blades back, retracting both together now. Lengthen the distance from your ears to your shoulders by pulling shoulder blades down. And now using your shoulder blades, you're gonna glide them forwards and your fingers might do a little bit of movement because your shoulders are moving. Let's reverse. Pull down. You should feel a nice lengthening here. You might feel a bite in your lat as you pull shoulder blades down to the floor. We're gonna retract shoulder blades together. Hands might glide a little bit. Feel that nice squeeze between your shoulder blades for a moment here. It should feel a nice warming, a good activation in that pinch. Pull them up and relax. Nice. Hope you guys are feeling really, really good after those shoulder blade movements. Should feel a little bit looser. Let's hit some spine stuff. Hands and knees now. If you were standing for that last drill, join back on your hands and your knees. Geo, you're watching, if you want to, put hands on a dumbbell here. We're gonna do some regular cat-cows, but we're gonna add some really nice intention to what we're doing. Watch me if you need to, but if you're able to, just follow along with the cues. Start to round your back. Call this flexion. I want you to tuck your tailbone. So think about like pulling your belly button towards your chest. I want you to push away the floor with your arms, and hold that rounded position. You're pushing the floor away so your arms are extended. You're tucking that tailbone. And now you're going to start to untuck the tailbone. You're going to start to look up towards me with your head. And then you're going to start to arch the whole spine. And I don't want you to be too extreme in any of those positions, but as much as you can, try and arch and extend through your low back, mid back, upper back, and still push away from the floor. Hold. Nice. Start to transition. Tuck the tailbone. Press the low and mid back up to the ceiling. Push away the floor with your hands. Elbows are straight. Tuck your chin to your collarbone. We're going to hold for 3, 2, 1. Still pushing through the floor with the hands. Untuck the tailbone. Start to arch the low back, arch to the mid back, arch to the upper back. When able, you're going to look as high as you can to the ceiling. Nice. And now be gentle, but let's move a little bit faster for 3 reps. Round, just a second pause, extend. Second pause. Round, second pause, breathe. Extend, arch. Second pause. 3rd rep, round, and extend. Nice. Shoulders getting toasty. Awesome. Little break, mostly for the wrists. We're going to do a thoracic cat cow now, which is going to be more upper back based. There's going to be a block on your lower body, so we're trying to feel more in the upper and mid back. We're going to do 3 reps, moderate pace, faster than what we just did, and then we're going to do some rotations. So after our 3rd rep, hold the position and listen closely for the cues. So with this position, thoracic cat cow, get a little closer for you guys. You can have extended toes like this. You can have relaxed toes like this. Do whatever feels best for you that's comfortable. I personally usually get a little bit more out of this position. You're going to sit your bum as close to your heels as you feel like you can. You can always put like a little towel in there to sit on if you need to. And I want your hands a couple inches in front of your knees. We do this one all the time. Take one hand, you're going to put in the center of your knees. And I'm going to have you push and reach up to the ceiling as we're going to start with some rotations. You're going to come down. You're going to slowly transition. Don't rush. And after 3 or 4 reps alternating per side, we're going to hit thoracic cat cow. Slowly transition, I start to push and press to the floor. I weave first through my spine, and then I add my shoulder blade, shoulder, elbow, fingers. One more per side. Last one. Nice. Give the knees a little bit of a rest if you need to. Otherwise, with me now, hands back to that original position, a couple inches in front of your knees. We're gonna round, we're gonna flex the spine. Try and push away again with your shoulder blades, so you should feel a good opening and rounding with your upper back. And then breathe in, arch. Try and keep the bum close to the floor as you arch in this position. Keep my head low so you guys can hear me. Arching, trying to look up towards the ceiling and feeling that pull, that stretch in the upper mid-back. Do 2 more nice and quick. Round. Arch. Pull the chest up and through. Oh, it's the best. It's the best. Last one. Up and breathe. Awesome. Cool, guys. Take a little break there, give the wrist a break. We're gonna move to a laying T stretch next. Really like this movement. It's not one that I do too much online. Mostly because it's a shoulder stretch, but it has a big prerequisite of hip and spine mobility. So take this gentle if you don't know it or haven't done it much before. Watch first if you need to, or just perform slowly after I go through our movements. So I'm gonna have my one arm out to the side. That's gonna be the side that is gonna be feeling a stretch. I'm gonna take my opposite foot. I'm gonna start to bring it over and across the body. It's gonna touch down somewhere on the floor comfortably. If that's tough, you're just gonna hang out there and you're just gonna get used to that. But if able, you're gonna take off this hand, you're gonna straighten the elbow, and you're gonna try and bring it down towards the other hand on the floor. I'm gonna hold this for 10 seconds. Feel free to join me. And then switch sides. When I switch sides, you'll have a view of where my arms are together, which will be helpful. 3, 2, 1. Slowly disengage the hand. Bring the hips forwards and square. Switch hand that's on the floor. Bring that hip and leg over, foot touches down. Other arm is up, and then try and stack your hands on top of one another. So palm on palm, even if it doesn't look like that, that's what you're trying to do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as we do 2 more, alternating just like this, take it easy, right? If this is aggressive on you, if this is new, something's not feeling hot, just go like here, right? Or just spend some time in this position. This might be where some of you need to be. And then if you're able, you're gonna add this arm. Now that I'm here, I like to think about like punching and reaching my chest forward as I hold the position. 3, 2, 1. When you come out, really try and be smooth. Take your time. Take your time to bring that hip over, plant the foot. Take your time to extend the arm up and then reach it back. Hold. Get some nice breaths in there. 3, 2, 1. Last one. Last one. Hopefully feels progressively better and better, right? It does for me. 10 seconds is on, holding. 3, 2, 1. Really nice chest, shoulder stretch for those of you at a desk, which includes me. Programming for you guys all day long. Laying T stretch. Really nice thing to add in here and there. Breathe. Last time here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently exit on out. Awesome. Hope you guys are feeling pretty good from that little break. We're going to do some prone hovers in a second. These can be really challenging, but our goal today is like just greasing the wheels, just giving the shoulders some butter, some lubricant, making them feel good. Yeah, it doesn't need to be super stressful, okay? Harder will be keeping your feet on the floor when we begin. Easier will be lifting the feet a little bit. You might get some relief. But in a second, we're gonna be on our stomachs, and we're gonna be doing the same movement we practiced at the beginning with the shoulder movement. We're gonna lift our arms off the floor. I'm just telling you now because the mic is bad when I'm laying down. You're gonna reach your arms out to your sides. You're gonna reach your palms backwards to the ceiling. We're gonna bend and tap our low back, and then we're gonna reverse. But we're gonna do all that on our stomach. Cool? So, easy intensity, don't want this to be aggressive. Give yourself some spot in the room. Okay, comfortable. Again, you can lift the feet when we start if that's easier for you. Reach your arms forwards. Hope I'm not yelling too much in your faces. Get a little bit of tension in your belly and in your butt and in your calves. Lift the arms, span them outwards, rotate so the palm is facing the ceiling. Touch your low back gently and then reverse. That's one. Take your time as you reverse. Try and match my tempo if you peek up real quick. We're gonna do 4 more. Really smooth. I don't want too much grinding in the shoulder. So if you're getting some clunkiness, some grinding, some popping, snapping, maybe don't lift so high. Maybe take a little tension out of the movement in your shoulder so that, again, it's more smooth. This is 2. Up for 3. Tap my low back, up, extend the arms, out and reverse. Up for 4. Outwards, rotate arms, up, tap low back, reverse. Last one. Arms up, arms out, rotate palms, tap the low back, bend the elbows, lift and reverse. Staple movement, we do this one all the time. Nice. Awesome. Okay, done a lot of shoulder now for the last few minutes. We're gonna finish off the session. We got about 5-10 more minutes. We're gonna mix it up between some resting squats and some neck love. Cool? Maybe we'll do some wrist stuff in there too. Okay, find your regular squat stance. Pop on down. We're gonna be here for a minute, okay? You can put your fists together if you want to, palms, you can breathe, okay? If you wanna do a little movement, a little shuffling while you're here, great. But for the next 50 seconds, 45 seconds, just want you sitting as low as you can, as comfortably if you can. If you're watching this later and you can't do a squat, press pause, put something underneath your heels. A couple of small books or big books, a couple of plates from a barbell, something to elevate your heels. Over time, make those things smaller and your ankle mobility will improve, as well as your hip mobility. About 20 more seconds, just chilling, relaxing, and then we're gonna stand. We're gonna do a lot of neck stuff. So just take it easy. It doesn't need to be hard, doesn't need to be harsh. Take it easy. We're gonna do a bunch of things. Start to make your way up. And what we're gonna start off with here is just direct neck rotation, okay? I want you to feel a little bit rooted so that you're not doing anything else, turning with your torso, loose through your hips. You're just working through your neck. I sometimes put my hands here as kind of like a cue that I can feel movement that I don't want. And you're just gonna rotate and look directly over your neck as far as you can, checking your blind spot. Feeling a nice stretch on the opening side of your neck. And then looking forwards and then the other side. And again, I should feel a nice opening stretch there. I don't want to feel pinching on the closing side. Breathe, other direction. If you're having a hard time keeping your shoulders where they are, actively reach them to the floor, which will intensify the stretch, but it'll help cue you so that you feel you're only moving your neck. Give me a pause. Give me one more rotation, other side, other blind spot, pause. Nice. Squat round 2. So if that minute before was pretty accessible for you, you're gonna match me again. If it was a little bit much, whether for sensitivity or just depth, you could always come out a little bit early, okay? Otherwise, I'm gonna try and find something to take up time for the next 45 seconds. I don't know, I don't have any material prepared, but I'm just gonna enjoy the squat. I know something to talk about. Sometimes when I squat, I lean back, okay, which puts more of the stretch and just movement into the hips. And I'll just kind of spend time there. Other times, I'll really try and make it ankle dominant by, I'm still flat with my foot, but I'm trying to lean forwards more and get my knees more forwards over my toes. And then I feel more of an engagement through my ankles. Both are good. Sometimes be more ankle dominant to work on your ankle. Sometimes give those guys a break. But those are kind of like 2 ways you can work on your squat. Got about 12 seconds. We're gonna come up in a second and do round 2, some neck stuff, which is gonna feel great. Nice. Big tall chest. When you come up, I want it to be spry, okay? Pretty easy. That's the goal when we do squats. It should be something I want accessible for the next 9,500 years or however long you do live. Cool. Next one, we're gonna go into just normal flexion of our neck. Think about tucking your chin right to your chest. If you look up for a second, I want you to think about lengthening the back of your neck, by reaching the top of your head here, up and out. So I got a nice stretch in the back of the neck. I'm then gonna pull my head back up to neutral. I'm gonna check out the camera, and then I'm gonna lift my jaw up, try and reach my neck open. Think about extending your chin up and backwards to get a throat stretch. That tells you that you're doing a good job of extending your neck because you're getting the stretch, again, in the opening side of the stretch. You're trying not to have too much pinching on the back. And back down, flexing, holding that opening stretch on the back of the neck now. Neck now. Extending, trying to get that stretch in the throat. Reach the chin up and out. One last one. On this one, let's make like a couple double chins. Hold that tucked chin as you curl and flex down. Breathe, last extension back. Try not to use anything else. Oh, it feels great. Nice, chin to come on out. We'll do our third squat. We're gonna do 4, this is our third squat. On this one, what we're gonna do is some lateral shifting, okay? It doesn't need to be excessive, but before we just did a little bit of cueing on like backwards and forward lean. Now what I'm gonna do is gonna be more hip mobility, less ankle, but I'm gonna try and just shift my weight to one side. It doesn't need to be as far as I'm going, but note how my feet are flat. They're tilting a little bit, but they're flat. And then I'm gonna shift to the other side. So this is just incorporating a little bit of ankle, a little bit of knee, but mostly some more hip into the squat in a lateral fashion. You don't even have to go this far. You could do like a centimeter of shifting if that's what you're capable of, or if that's what your body is telling you should be doing. Couple more reps. Lateral shift. Lateral shift. Some of you who've done a lot of human with me in gym are gonna know what we're gonna do next. I'm pretty obvious by now. I got little flows that I like, and some of you will know what's gonna happen next, but we'll save it for our last squat. Good. Up, nice and spry, nice and quick. Okay, classic neck stretch we do quite a bit, feels good. Let's take one hand, put it behind the body. You're gonna grab that wrist with your free hand. Okay, I'm gonna stay facing away from you guys because I think it just makes more sense when you watch. So I'm pulling the elbow inwards towards my torso, and now I'm gonna gently tilt my head away from that arm. So I'm gonna try and softly touch my ear to my shoulder. One of my favorite neck stretches, I've been doing it for years. I feel a nice opening, again, on the opening angle. I feel a nice stretch on the opening side. I don't want to feel pinching on the regressive side. Slightly turn that chin down. I guess I can show you guys now. Chin down. Slightly turn that chin up to the ceiling. You might feel some changes in your stretch as you do those positions. Relax. Other side. After we're done this, we're gonna do one more squat and then we'll call it a day. So nice and tall, softly tilting ear to shoulder. Feeling a stretch on the opening side of the neck, the long side of the neck. If you're feeling pinching, you just regress out of the stretch a little bit. And then over time, practice, breathe, you should start to acclimatize. Softly turn that chin down for me, just softly. It doesn't need to be too far. You feel a nice change. A little bit of a different pull. Turn that chin up. Oh yeah. Pause. And soft relax. If you really like that one, do another set when we're done. Do something else and do a third set. Couple times, and that will feel really, really good. Just make sure you're not like yanking, right? It's a nice soft stretch. Okay. Last thing for the day, team, we're gonna do squat. We're gonna combine the forward backward shift with the lateral shifts. We're gonna try and make a circle in our squat, okay? Try and make your circle even in that, say you have really good forward back mobility, but really poor side to side. We don't wanna see an oval, okay? So you're gonna limit your forward back mobility so it can be more of a circle. Come on down. I always like to start forward for whatever reason. I like to put my palms here. I don't know why, you can do whatever you want. I'm gonna lean forwards. I'm gonna round the corner, lean to the side, round the corner, lean back, round the corner, lean to the side, and forwards again. We're not really gonna count the reps. We're just gonna do a few seconds or 15, 20 seconds of movement. Shouldn't be fast or slow, and again, shouldn't be painful. Behind your knee, in front of your knee, in your ankle. If your ankles are fatigued, they're burning, that's fine. But if you got some pain, I would squat up so you're up higher, or I would just take a little break, or just do a regular squat, right? Other direction. backwards, lateral, feet are flat pretty much always, so heels are down, forwards, lateral, backwards, lateral, rounding forwards. Couple more. Do this enough times and you're gonna poop really good later. I'm not even joking. Some of you are like, what? I'm not joking. Cool, cool, cool. All right, awesome guys. Thanks for joining me. Gio and Sean who came live. Hope you guys feel great. If you guys are watching this later, hope you had a great session. Have a great day, guys, and hope to see you next week.